Good evening. I'm Gary P. Balcom, Hemingway, South Carolina. Just my opinion, always politics. I want to prove a little point for the members of my community. So I've heard a little backlash from some good friends of mine. So let me do this. I'm not red-eyed. I'm not drunk. I'm not a fucking alcoholic. I'm just a man that has a set of balls to say what he wants to say. Unlike most of you. Now, I'm not talking about everybody in this community, because I have a lot of friends in this community. A bunch of them. That's why I know what I know. Because when you ass wipes go spatting your mouth off, you don't know who you're talking to. Because a lot of times, you're talking to friends of mine that come straight to me and tell me what you've said. So I know who you are, and fuck you. You can kiss my ass. And you know what? None of you pay my bills. None of you put bread and butter on my table. So again, fuck you. Now, to my friends in this community, thank you. Thank you for having my back. I appreciate it. Anyway, tonight, going on to politics, and I might ramble from blah, 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 and video might go a little long. Some people say, well, one person says it goes too long and it bores them. Well, you know what? When I was in school, had an hour-long class with the English teacher. She's boring as hell. I sat there and listened to her, and I passed the class. So, I'm here to do the same thing. Educate. That's all I'm trying to do, is educate people. And to try to encourage people to stop sitting behind your damn closet doors and not speaking your mind. Get out there and speak your damn mind. I don't care which side you speak on. You know, if you're a right wing, if you're a left wing, it doesn't matter to me. Speak what's on your mind. That's what this country's all about. Anyway, let's start off with socialism. Thanks to the deep state shadow government and Republicans as a whole, we lost the last election in the House to a whole shitload of Democrats. Now, do the Republicans mind that? No, I don't think they do. Don't think they do. I think they're kind of happy about it, if you don't my honest opinion. But we're headed down a slow path, actually a fast path to socialism. Because you got people like this Alexandria Cortez. I mean, this bitch is barely out of diapers. She's still in the transition between diapers and pull-ups. She has zero fucking clue of what she's talking about, okay? You got Kamala Harris that wants to give away everything free. Free. No, don't think so. Nancy Pelosi goes along with them. Chuck Schumer goes along with them. Pocahontas and Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, you got to watch him. He's a die-hard socialist. But we got to put a stop to those kind of people. It's the members of Congress and the FBI that are players in the deep state dark shadow government that go against our president. Don't let nobody fool you. It's been going on for years. All the conspiracy theories about JFK, the government. Every time we've had a president, and JFK was a Democrat, I might add, but every time we've had a president that has stood up for we the people. In JFK's case, he ended up dead. Then we had Ronald Reagan that stood up for we the people. Assassination attempt against him. They blew it off on some bullshit, but that was the deep state, shadow government. They thought they had him. They missed. They winged him. He come back. Now we got President Trump. They hate him. They hate him with a passion. He's rocking their boat. He's exposing them. And they are doing anything they possibly can to discredit this man. Okay? I'm sorry. He fights for we the people. Now, my only advice to President Trump is you need to clean house at the White House. Completely. Because I totally understand you came into this, you are not a politician, you are a businessman, which is why we voted for you. Because we're tired of politicians, we wanted a businessman. But you had no choice but to surround yourself with other politicians that have done nothing but stab you in the back. Okay? The only people you can trust at this point is Sarah Huckabee Sanders and, oh gosh, the other lady that's been with you since the beginning. Can't think of her name. If I do, I'll blur it out in a little while. And your family. And when I say family, I mean your children, not your son-in-law. Don't trust him for one damn second. Think he's dirty. My advice to you would be to tell your daughter to divorce that bastard, because he's sneaky. He'll hurt you. You rely on Sarah Huckabee, your children. I swear it's bugging me. I can't think of this lady's name. You keep doing what you're doing, because you're fighting for us, the American people. Okay? Now this AOC, Alexandria Cortez, she wants to come up with a Green Deal that's going to cost $93 trillion. Really, folks? Who the hell even voted for this bitch? Okay? I don't think there's enough stupid-ass people out there to vote for her. I think that was election fraud from hell that just never got caught. Okay? They're talking about $600,000 per family a year to pay for this. I ain't got $600,000. I ain't never made that in my damn life. You know? This bitch is crazy. She's a kid. Uneducated. Has no clue of what she's talking about. She listens to bullshit and runs with it and got no evidence, nothing to back it up with. Okay? Nothing. She's a nut. She needs to be removed now. I mean, just fuck wait until voting time. She needs to be out of there. Feinstein's another one. She's a whack job. She needs to be gone. So does Maxine Waters. She really does. Maxine Waters is just, she's nothing. She's a zero. We just had Congress the other day vote down to keep newborn babies that are alive. They voted it down. So in other words, if a child is born, the parents look at it and say, nah, we don't want it. Doctor says, okay, we'll go with that. Boom, they kill the baby. I'm sorry, that's blatant fucking murder. And you parents and you doctors that make that decision need a bullet between your fucking eyes. All right, I want to talk about a little something else, because it all falls into play. I am not a racist man. Never have been, never will be. You ask my friends, they will tell you the same. Okay? Just get out there and ask. I don't care who you talk to. I'm not racist. Okay? But I want to talk about racism in this country. It's gone rampant. Yes, it was bad for a long time. I agree with that. I agree that it was rampant. I don't agree with the racism part. Okay? Dr. Martin Luther King was a great man. And he was the man that played the biggest role in putting a stop to it. He couldn't do it right away, of course. There you go. Deep state shadow government wanted to shut him the hell up, so they did away with him. But his words carried for a long way. Things have gotten better and better and better until Obama was elected president. He just took a shovel and started digging racism back up out of the dirt. Period. Okay? I got nothing against black people. Black people got nothing against me. In my community, we all get along good. We have no racism problems. So all the racism crap you hear about is politicians blowing smoke up your ass with their political agenda, trying to piss this country off so that we will go to war with each other. That's not going to happen. Okay? Because blacks and whites, we're too smart for that. Okay? We woke up. We smelt the coffee. We got your number. The fight's coming. It's coming fast, but it's not going to be between black and white. Because there is no black and white. There's we the people, and there's you the politicians that are crooks. That's where the fight's going to be. Slavery. Kamala Harris wants to make some kind of reparation to the people of slavery. What are you going to do? Dig them up, open the casket up, put $1,000 in the casket and rebury it? What, you going to track the families down? No, nobody wants that. You're talking out of your ass. You're a typical politician. Talking out of your ass, trying to stir up racism. We got your number, bitch. Okay? Nobody's listening to you. Let me tell you a little bit about slavery. And you got to go way back. You got to dig way back to your history books. I mean, I come up through high school in the 70s. You got to go way back further than that about slavery to get the real truth. Because over the years, the government has changed our school books, our curriculum, and all that. Okay? They would like you to believe. No, let me just back up. We won our independence from Great Britain. It actually occurred, we declared it on July 2nd, 1776, but we celebrate it on July 4th, 1776. Now, some of you are going, oh, what? July 2nd? Yeah, I did my research. Time you do yours. Okay? It doesn't take much these days with the internet. You can find anything you want. You just got to quit playing your damn Candygram games and all that other crap and actually do real work. On July 4th, 1776 is what we celebrate, where we declared our independence. Now, why did we do that? We did that to get away from taxation without representation. That's why we come over here, okay? Then we got the big idea of starting our own government, blah, blah, blah. And what do? Didn't take them long. They start taxing the hell out of us right off the bat, okay? Now, when I say we, I'm talking about ancestors. So, am I to blame for that? Fuck no, I'm not. That's ancestors. Just like with slavery and the, ancestors took place a long time ago. Nobody alive today had anything to do with any of that. But just to make a point, when the government started all that crap, when we formed our government, started trying to tax people, and they're like, wait a minute, we just want our independence to get away from all these taxes, and now you want to do it again? So a lot of people migrated to the South and to the West. Now, after a few years, hence the Civil War, the war between the North and the South, okay? Now, the politicians, Democrats and Republicans, tried to figure out a way, okay, how can we warrant this? Because the people of the South, they left because they didn't want to be taxed. They wanted to be in their own part of the country and just do their own thing. And they should have been left alone. But they had to come up with something to make it sound good for the people so that the northern people would fight, okay? So they said, we're going to make this about slavery. The southern people have slaves. Well, yeah, they did, honestly. And it's bad to say, they did. But so did the people in the north. Now, a little different, the South and the North, okay? In the South, there was all the plantations, one thing and another. The North, they had certain, George Washington had slaves, for crying out loud. But they worked in different aspects of life in the North, but still, bottom line, they were slaves, and they were treated like shit, just like they were in the South. So, that's what the politicians used, Democrats and Republicans. They used that issue to warrant the Civil War, okay? They didn't give a shit about freeing the slaves. Abraham Lincoln didn't give a shit about freeing the slaves. The only thing they wanted was to come down south, win the war, and make the southern people pay fucking taxes. Taxing without representation, okay? That's all it was about. And like I say, you got to dig way back in the history books to read that. I've done it, so I know. Morally wrong. Morally wrong. So was slavery. Slavery was morally wrong. But it was even more morally wrong to use that as an excuse for the North and the government to come down to the South and take over. Okay? Wish to God I'd have been alive back then. But, hell, we even, the Confederacy had their own money. We were completely independent from the North. We just wanted to be left alone. All right, donations. I get phone calls every day, every other day from the RNC. I'm a hard right Republican, and I admit it, I'm hard right. Okay? They call every day wanting donations. I'm not giving them one red fucking nickel. Okay? Because the Republicans ain't shit. They're part of the deep state shadow government just like the Democrats. And I urge you Democrats not to give one single red dime to the DNC. Okay? What we need to do is get rid of every single member of Congress now. They're swamp rats. They hate President Trump. They come up with all these conspiracies, the Trump-Russia conspiracy. They had this asshole on TV today, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's all bullshit. And think about it. What do you see on the news every day? It's all about these investigations against Trump. Congress is getting nothing done. We pay their salary. The only thing they're trying to get done is get rid of Trump because Trump is rocking their boat, fucking up their little backdoor payouts. That's what he's doing. Okay? And they hate that. They're swamp rats. We need to get rid of them. Now, I don't give a shit what you Democrats do with the DNC, but as far as the RNC, I ain't giving another dime until you start finding working class people that are not politicians but are willing to run for office and are willing to work with our president. And you Democrats need to be doing the same thing. Because I got a sneaky feeling that the majority of we the people, we all think the same way. But the left-wing media and the politicians just constantly blow smoke up our ass to confuse us and make us think we're fighting against each other. But in all honesty, I don't think we are. Okay? Because I talk to a lot of people, Republican and Democrat, and they like President Trump. They like what he's done. He's done more in 2 years than any other president in history. He's done a lot of great work for this country and a lot of great work for the people of this country. And look what he's doing now in Vietnam. Trying to make peace with North Korea. Something that's never been done. But does Congress care about that? No. All they want to care about is trying to find somebody that'll lie on the stand and give some kind of information so that they can try to impeach his ass. That's all they care about. They don't care about doing our bidding. They don't care about our issues. They don't care about the border. They just want Trump gone. Now, that should tell you right there. Little light bulb should go off. They want him gone that bad, but yet he's doing such a fantastic job. He's rocking their boat. They're not getting their free ride, and they can't fucking stand it. Just the way it is. Come the 2020 election, unless the RNC changes and finds working class people that are willing to run for office, for Congress, and this is on the state and federal level, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not giving them a dime. But I will donate straight to Donald Trump's campaign for re-election for president. That I will do. Because I believe in President Trump. He's the greatest president we've ever had. He's worked harder for the American people than any president we've ever had. He's first. The second one was Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was number one until Trump came along. Anyway, all members of Congress have to be voted out. They need to be gone. Okay? If we, the people, decide to wait that long. Let me tell you something, folks. There's another civil war coming. And you're not going to like it. Or, yeah, we the people, you the Americans, probably will like it. But it's going to be a war between us and Congress, not the president. We love our president. We will protect our president at all costs, no matter what it takes. And that means protecting them against Congress. It's coming fast. We may not see an election in 2020. I urge everybody that's got a set of balls to organize your communities to try to get things done. Then from the communities you spread out further into your states and the other communities and blah, 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 so forth and so on. We need it. I think it's time for a little revolution. Way past time. Once you get all your communities organized in your respective states, then the leaders of each community come together and you vote for a leader for your state. And let's pray to God that our law enforcement thinks like we do, our National Guard, our retired military, and hopefully some of our active military, if not all of them. Because look at what the president has done for them, all of them. He's done a lot of good. So I got a sneaky feeling they'll take his side over Congress and their deep state shadow government. So, don't trust Congress, don't trust the FBI. We got our rights, and we have the right to do this. Okay, you people are thinking, oh, this fucker's in trouble. No, I'm not. The Constitution gives us the right to do this. That's why we have the Second Amendment. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time. That's why the Constitution gave us the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, to protect ourselves from an overpowering government. Look it up, just like I did. I've read it word for word. Anyway, I could sit here and talk all night. I'm going on almost 30 minutes now. I know my neighbor ain't gonna like it, but you know what? I think he listens to it. Because despite what a lot of people think, he thinks the same way I do. And even though we don't always see eye to eye, we pretty much agree on politics. So, anyway, to my neighbor, sit down and watch this. You ain't got nothing else to do. You don't do nothing. You're retired. I urge everybody out there to please pass this video along. Encourage your fellow Americans that it's time to stand up against the government. Because if we don't, we're going to end up being a socialist country if we let the likes of Bernie Sanders, Cortez, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Pocahontas, if we let the likes of them start running this country, we are done for. Keep that in mind. Again, I'm Gary P. Balcom Sr. from Hemingway, South Carolina. Just my opinion, always about politics. Sorry it was a little long, but That's called education. So, and I urge you all to do your own homework on this. May God bless all of you out there. May God bless our country. And may God bless our President, Donald J. Trump. And may God bless him in his endeavor to make peace and keep peace with North Korea. Thank you, and you all have a fantastic night.